Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
Lord Hien!
Maxima, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
I entertain thoughts of escape even now, but our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here, but it seemed to me there was more to the tale.
Xenos was behind this plot.
I have heard tell of this power you wield. And in your vision, you witnessed Lord Xenos giving these orders.
How can that be? Xenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo.
Well, apparently he's alive.
I saw his body with my own eyes.
Forgive me, but Lord Xenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hien's confusion. The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
So either someone stole the body or they made a clone.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an imposter has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Court? The idea is inconceivable, absurd, but worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
Your efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect them?
Yes. As the late Ambassador's second-in-command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Hooray, the one time when bureaucracy actually works. When someone
Then let
dies.
us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
Indeed. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlemald.
Tread lightly, Pybus. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Imposter or no, if Xenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Ascian waiting in the wings. Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Were you indeed willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk his life on countless occasions. Next to him, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield. But in the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
I believe in you, Alphanode. Even though you'll be surrounded by Byzantine bureaucracy.
'Tis not for me to stop you. But I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
I agree. He has grown a lot ever since binding
Go
quills.
then. You've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything
He's not,
reckless, all right?
Ain't central anymore.
I'm sorry?
He's not angst central anymore.
Yeah.
I shall be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
He's even getting better at swimming.
And apparently monetary management.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Nobody can face angry Tataru twice and live to tell the tale. Yep, the katana incident. I knew Asahi was planning some manner of treachery, but a summoning! Thank the kami you were here, my friend. None of us would have escaped Yotsuyu's vengeance had you not intervened. She was a pawn, aye, but she still had a choice, and she chose to submit to the ambassador's plan. Tis little wonder Gotsetsu departed in silence. I gather he left the same way he came, alone aboard a rowing boat. As for the conscripts, most made it to the Sekibune before the battle began in earnest, but the vessel yet waits on the riverbank for those who did not flee in time. Then I suggest we put this doleful place behind us and make for the Enclave together. To be ashamed to miss the joyous reunion.
How often have I imagined this moment? Thank you for helping it come to pass.
I see somebody likes the wolf creatures. I forgot what they're called. Lupins?
Lupins. Yep, you remembered right.
Remember when they gave you like cutscene warnings? Is cutscenes gonna take forever?
Well, this isn't taking forever.
Well, I'm well behind you. It is Japanese.
Ah.
Ah, there you are.
Gosetsu, your hair.
My friend, what have you done?
An old man who cannot raise his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage. I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
All of them?
Safe travels, Gotetsu.
A fulsome farewell makes for an enjoyable journey.
Scarcely have we said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Doma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
You have earned it 1,000 times over. Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before. And with that, I take my leave.
Bye, Gotetsu. Ah, Gotetsu. Fair journey to you, my friend. A bittersweet occasion, but there is yet ample cause to be grateful. Pray, join us in the Kienkan. I will thank you properly. Our brothers and sisters are returned to us, and the dream of Doma's restoration is that much closer to being realized. It is a day that will live long in memory, and one that would never have dawned without the courageous action of the Scions. On behalf of Doma and our people, we give you our deepest thanks. Lest you think me complacent, I assure you, I have not forgotten the dark cloud on the horizon. That Xenos lives is a source of grave concern, mayhap the gravest. Yet there is little to be done but wait for Alphino to send word. Until then, I plan to devote myself to fulfilling the promise I made to Gotetsu, by building a nation which none need live in fear. I confess I miss him already, but the thought that he has at last found peace goes some way to softening the blow. I wonder, did you ever stop to ask yourself why he showed Yotsuyu such kindness? I believe the answer lies in past tragedy. Specifically the death of his wife and daughter during the invasion. Though he hid it well, they were never far from his thoughts, and in Yotsuyu's childlike mien, I believe he saw not a fallen tyrant, but a little girl who was lost to him. After the loss of his family, Gotetsu devoted himself wholly to the service of his country. He suffered any hardships, strove beyond the limits of endurance without hesitation or complaint. Though Tsuyu could never truly replace his daughter, I'd hoped that with her at his side, he might live out the remainder of his days in relative contentment. Would that the Kami had been so minded. Even now I labor to discern any meaning in Yotsuyu's fate. To deliver her from certain death with no memory of her sins, only to leave her at the mercy of her stepbrother? Can that truly have been their will? That I cannot tell you. The will of the Kami is not for us to know. Yeah, what are you thinking, devs? But what I do know is that for a brief moment, a girl known as Tsuyu lived among us.
I'll be right back.
Okay. And that she brought with her a whisper of respite for a grieving heart. I think it's time we were going, don't you? We've done all we can here, and we have a lot to report. But before we head back to the Rising Stones, let's call in at Rhalgr's Reach. We should be ones to tell Lise about Xenos. After everything we went through together, we owe her that. Green, Alice, you're back. No Alfino? It's good to see you, Lise. As for my headstrong brother, he's off on what will almost certainly turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Garlemald. It's a long story, but we have evidence that Xenos might still be alive. What? But that's... If this is a joke... Gods, this had better be a joke. Look, I know what I saw, alright? We all saw it. And here you are saying he's alive and well, living the high life back in Garlemald? I know how ludicrous this sounds. I'm still having difficulty believing it myself. But while I doubt the word of an Imperial envoy, I'm inclined to trust Greens. He saw the Crown Prince through the Echo, in a meeting that could only have taken place in the recent past. Xenos is alive. No, it must have been... some kind of really convincing imposter. Xenos is dead. He had a great big hole in his neck. We buried him. Aye, and someone went to trouble desecrating the bastard's grave, remember? Oh. Halls, gilded halls, whatever are you talking about? Hey, it's Thancred. Thancred, what brings you to the Reach?
Hey,
Alfie-
you're just overhear the conversation.
Yeah. Alfie not had me lending a hand at the Saltery, keeping an eye on the rebuilding work and so on. It was until operations were up and running. And now that they are, I thought I might look on you before wending my weary way back to the headquarters. Forgive me if I misheard, but was there some suggestion that the late Crown Prince could have gotten better? If so, might I suggest a quick look inside his coffin as our first order of business? Much as I hated the man, it doesn't feel right defiling his grave. But if we'll put this rumor to rest, I suppose we have to. And when there are no curious eyes about, if we can manage it. Xenos is buried up at Bloodhow in the Locks. His grave was set apart from the others and left unmarked so as to not upset the locals. It shouldn't be too hard to find. Nago, you're in charge until I get back. Let's see, lore for that is the battles, just previewing it via the Echo. As for trials, etc. Huh. Okay. Money's on writhing snakes, possibly spiders. It's it. Gods, he better be in there. Someone scrawled all over the stone a little while ago, but I had it scrubbed off and thought no more about it. So no one thought to check if the coffin was still occupied. Well then, we are presented with but one course of action. And we had best be sure we are not observed in the doing of it. Shall we begin?
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
Well, it must be somewhere. I only hope it isn't walking around.
I swear, if we're walking into another conspiracy, I've had enough of that with Ul'dah.
I'm pretty sure this is already proven to be conspiracy.
Yeah, it's a rhetorical statement. If there's no corpse, then are we to conclude the rumors are true? Not necessarily. We might still be dealing with a doppelganger of some kind. An agent could have been sent to dispose of the body in a bid to lend credence to the tale of Lord Xenos' resurrection. More and more, however, I find myself siding with Alphinaud's theory of Ascian possession. Speaking from experience, I can tell you they have no qualms about taking a living host, let alone a dead one. You're saying an Ascian is walking around in Xenos' body? Seems a distinct possibility. Once I have put this grave back the way we found it, I shall pay a visit to the people responsible for interring the Crown Prince. Before leaping to any conclusions, I want to know for sure if the body was ever buried here, and how certain we are that Xenos was properly dead. If he wasn't, that was some trick. He as good as cut his own head off. Anyway, Rauban needs to hear about this. If you find anything out, send word to me at Rogger's Reach. I don't know why I'm surprised. With matters settling down in Doma, we were due another crisis. Shall we make for the Rising Stones then? It's past time we shared these developments with the others. Oh, instant teleport. Ah, Aeonor. While I was waiting for you to arrive, I spoke with Urianger over Link Pearl and gave him a full report. Y'shtolo is on her way and should be here any— Ah! Alice, Green. Tis good to see you safe and well. What news have you from the east? Disturbing developments indeed. Given all that we know, I too would conclude that an Ascian now inhabits Xenos' body. A doppelganger might fool the Crown Prince's subordinates, but Green? Nay, Alphinaud had the right of it. Would that his wisdom extended to the question of his own safety? Capable though he has become, he ventures alone into the enemy's stronghold, and the shadowy web of the Paragons, like as not. When it comes to making rash decisions, I'm hardly in a position to criticize, but I'm worried. I just wish there was something I could do for him besides pray. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace,
What's affairs?
I mean, that's basically how all conjurers get their magic, right? We cannot suffer icons to exist. Was I not clear on this point? I have no idea how this voice is. More than clear. The icon in question was summarily dispatched by the Warrior of Light. The summoner is dead, and the rite beyond repeating. Everything proceeded according to plan, every party behaving exactly as required. My method may seem extreme, but there is no cause for concern. I work only to ensure the salvation of the star. Oh great, now he's talking like an Asian.
And they're putting emphasis on the bandage around his neck, so.
Oh hey. Those mix looks kind of familiar. What are you doing fiddling with that thing? I asked you a question, soldier. What are you? Have you lost your mind? Ah! I have lost many things, but my mind is yet my own. Oh god. Is this the real Xenos and the one we saw was fake? That's my current guess. There upon the stage I stood, prepared to take my final bow, only to find that the finale was but an intermission. Shall I use this chance to repent for my sins? Embrace goodness and mediocrity? Nay, I think not. While the one I yearn to face yet lives, the hunt must go on. Oh, well, this just got a lot more complicated. So we have a real Xenos right here, but there's also a fake Xenos back in the end.
Yeah.
Ah.